pause here.
And that lets you save.
Who cares?
True Form Life.
Green look.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Taddia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Taddia.
All right, thanks so much for tuning in to another edition of Exploring Mind and Body. I always appreciate you coming in to see what we have going on. Today I'm rocking this show solo, so there's actually no guest, but I got some great tips for you coming up on today's show. We're going to be talking about Halloween treats, tricks, snacks, and more. I want to explain some of the things that we can do to stay healthy during the Halloween season. And I do call it the Halloween season because it seems to be extended. But, I mean, what do we do ourselves to stay healthy? How can we stay on track? What can we do to avoid all those unhealthy treats and snacks that seem to be absolutely everywhere? And what can we do with the kids? How can we keep the kids to stay healthy and not extend this for weeks or months afterwards with those giant bags of candy that they get going trick-or-treating? This is actually one of my favorite seasons, Halloween and then Christmas. I love the feeling of being a kid and being a little scared and dressing up and carving pumpkins. That's something that I kind of hold dear to me. And I think it's a great season that we can enjoy together, and we don't have to be something that we fear. So I'm going to share some of my ideas and some of the things that we can go over to help improve your health during the holidays season, or during the Halloween season, I should say. Stay right there. We got all that coming up on...
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Taddia.
All right, once again, thanks so much for being here. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm super excited to share some of these tips with you about Halloween. Now, I should mention that Dorothy and I did a live video on our Facebook page. So we've been doing these every Friday morning. If you want to check them out, you can head over to facebook.com/trueformlife. That's going to be our page where we put up posts on a regular basis through workouts or fitness routines. We put up recipes and just get the community active and excited around healthy living. And when I say community, I mean online community. So our Facebook community, you don't have to be anywhere in particular to be able to tune in or to be able to read our posts. Some of these suggestions, like the wit switch, came from our audience. So again, we do those live every Friday morning for now. So go ahead and check us out in the morning if you get a chance. That's going to be on Mountain Time around 8 a.m. So wherever you are, hopefully you get a chance to check us out live. And we do questions, so you can write in. We answer your questions live, and thank you for coming in. So you can check us out there. And also this blog post will play that replay. So if you head over to exploringmindandbody.com, you can find this Halloween post and watch our video there. But I want to mention the first thing that I mentioned, or the first thing that I brought up, was healthy habits. And that means so much. I think healthy habits mean absolutely everything to our overall well-being, health and wellness, living a healthy lifestyle. And habits is something that we create on a regular basis. So it's important for us to realize that we're creating healthy habits or unhealthy habits right now. So now that Halloween is coming up, Halloween's already here. And in Canada, we did go through Thanksgiving. I know as a podcast, we're all over the world, and people listen to us, like Australia, for example. I know you don't have Thanksgiving, but we do in North America. America's Thanksgiving is different. It's a different time, but ours up here in Canada, and those that are listening across Canada, as we're nationally syndicated, will understand that Thanksgiving did pass, at least at the time of this recording. But it doesn't matter when you're listening. What I'm getting at here is that it's important to understand that there's always something. So a couple weeks ago, there was Thanksgiving. And before a couple weeks ago, there was prep for Thanksgiving. So there was treats and desserts and gatherings of people that couldn't make it to Thanksgiving dinner, but they invited friends and family over to a different Thanksgiving dinner. So again, there's desserts and drinks there. And then we have Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, we have Halloween. Now that we have Halloween, there's going to be something else coming up called Christmas. If you haven't already started decorating for Christmas, it's coming quick. But what I'm trying to say here is that there's always something. There's always a reason to not prepare. There's always a reason not to work out. It's important for us to figure out ways to work out or to prepare food or stay on track with our nutrition, because there's always reasons not to. There's a holiday, there's a birthday, there's a vacation. So as long as we can understand that first and wrap our heads around paying attention to why we're not doing something or why we're not living a healthy lifestyle and push those excuses aside, that's the first thing that we can do. Now, in the show, we're going to be talking about like what we can do for kids, not just ourselves, but as parents, what can we do for our children as well to help them stay healthy? What can we do around the house to create a healthy environment? That's going to be my next tip coming up here. All right, so I want to tell you about the Silver Fern Aesthetic and Vein Clinic. Now, they specialize in a few areas. One is skincare. They'll tell you the difference between professional skincare and over-the-counter skincare. This is something that they specialize in, as well as offering education to their customers and clients. Mineral makeup is one of their non-toxic type of products. They have no talc, perfume, dyes, alcohol, or anything else that may clog your pores. They also specialize in varicose and spider veins. I actually had the opportunity to stop in there, and they helped me better understand who's more likely to get them, how to treat them, and even how to prevent them. And then they also offer detoxing products and services, such as their Universal Contour Wrap. They offer a clay solution. This gets rid of toxins, increases your energy levels, and much more. If you want more details, visit their Facebook page at Silver Fern Aesthetic and Vein Clinic. They're also offering free consultations from Dr. Jackson and their other skincare professionals. You can find them in Didsbury across from the train station, or you can give them a call at 403-335-8829. So when it comes to environment, this is so important to us. Like environment has everything to do with everything, along with healthy habits. So I want to explain how important it is to create that healthy environment in your own home. So when we're out and around the community, we're going in stores, like there's candies everywhere. That's just the way it is. If you have Halloween in your country, state, wherever you live, there's Halloween treats absolutely everywhere. At the bank, they're sitting on the counter. Many times in our home, they're sitting on the counter because we know Halloween's coming up. So again, it's important for us to understand that Halloween here is upon us. It's not coming up like, oh, it's coming up in a couple weeks, or it's coming up in a week or a couple days. It's happening. It's happened here. It's going on right now, because these treats and temptations and cravings are absolutely everywhere. So pay attention to what your environment is like. So if you're in the workplace, if you have Halloween candy on your desk, that's a bad idea. I gotta say, if it's sitting in front of you, we're regular people. We all have our own things that we enjoy, and pretty much all of us, for the most part, are addicted to sugar on some level. So if sugar is sitting in front of us, we're going to eat it. I'm no different. I like candy. I would rather have an apple or a banana, because that's what's sitting in my fruit bowl. But if a candy is sitting in front of me and it's one I particularly enjoy, then I'm going to eat it. So I know that's how I am, and I also know that's how most of us are, because of the clients and people that I work with and the questions that come in. So it's so important to not have them in front of you. That's got to be the biggest tip, or the number one thing that we can talk about today, other than creating healthy habits, or what kind of habits that we're creating, is that if your environment, if there is candy sitting in front of you on a regular basis, they should be removed. And it's no different from when you're at home. So when you're at home, if you have a bowl of chips on the table, or if you have a bowl of candies, that needs to be removed, because there's going to be constant temptation. And I'm going to go as far as to say those types of things shouldn't even be in the pantry, or they shouldn't be in your fridge. Because when we see them, when we reach into the pantry for a healthy snack, and we see a bag of whatever it is, a bag of candies or a bag of chocolates, we're going to reach for them if we're hungry, or if we want a snack in the evening, or if we're like, oh, I had a rough day, I'm going to have these chocolates, or I got a rough day tomorrow, I want to have these candies. Whatever it is, it's important to understand that that constant temptation is not making your life any easier. It's making it more challenging. So we have to pay attention to our environment on a regular basis, constant basis. So if we go into the bank and there's a bowl of candies there, it's a good thing to have your own types of food, like healthy snacks. It's so important. That's something that we always talk about, to have your healthy snacks around you. So we have Complete Truth protein balls, for example, and I'll put the recipe up in this post to give you a link so you know where to go to get a healthy recipe that's sweet, that's healthy, and tastes delicious. But that's just a prime example of something that you can take with you. You could even take trail mix. It's not going to give you that sweet or fight that craving if you're looking for something sugary or processed, but that's going to help you from being starving when you walk into the grocery store and you see 16 chocolate bars, 16 different types of chocolate bars when you're going to check out at the counter. All right, so I just want to take a moment to tell you about the tire shop here in Olds. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not really a car person. I wouldn't be the first to fix anything. So that's why I trust a company like the tire shop. When I bring my car in there, I always know that it's going to get quality service. I really love the customer service. It's bar none. They treat you like family. And this is a family-run business for 40 years. So they're definitely doing something right. And they're not just a tire company, so they do oil, brakes, tune-ups, your battery, wheel alignment. They do all kinds of different things to service your car. And now that winter's on the way, it's definitely a good time to get your car checked out, have someone that you trust and believe in, and to support the community as well as a local tire shop. You can reach them at 403-556-7660, or if you want to stop in, they're at 5903 Imperial Way, right behind Napa. Instead of having chocolates or candy leading up to Halloween, have something else, like have cut up carrots. It's amazing that what kids would eat, what we would eat. I know if I have cut up carrots on the counter, I'm going to eat them. They just, every time I walk by, I work from home most of the time, and they just kind of slowly dwindle. And it's just kind of like a boredom thing. If you're walking by, you're like, oh, there's a carrot. It's already cut up. It's washed. I'm going to eat it. And it's the same thing with candy. Like candy's sitting on the counter, and you're just walking by, and you don't really think much of it, and you pop a candy in your mouth, and you just carry on. You don't even think about it. It's unconscious. So if you have a healthy treat idea, put that out. So the kids are going to have a different type of environment. You're going to have a different type of environment. And then you'll have a better option to stay healthy during this Halloween season kind of time. Another thing I wanted to talk about, or another idea that we can address, is when you purchase your Halloween candy for trick-or-treaters, don't purchase it weeks or months before. I know sometimes they put it out as soon as possible, and they also put on sales at different times, but you could save some money by buying it as close to Halloween as possible, because they have all these new candies and chocolates and bags of chips with Halloween Halloween marketing, Halloween pictures, words on it. So you buy them for Halloween, and if they're not purchased, they have to blow them out because they're not going to sell it into Christmas, Halloween products. So you can save some money by purchasing closer to Halloween, because a lot of times they blow it out. But that goes back to environment and not buying like a big box of chips or a big box of different types of individual candies and having them sit around your house on a regular basis or for weeks before Halloween's coming, because then you're always tempted. They're always sitting there. You know they're in the closet, or you know they're under your bed or wherever you have them. Maybe they're on the counter, and you eat them all before Halloween even comes. So you have to buy more for the kids that are coming out. So pay attention to that and what's going on, and how often or how soon you purchase those Halloween candies for the trick-or-treaters. Another tip I wanted to mention was buy candies that you don't enjoy. And that's something that you can do, because if it's not one of your favorite candies, you're not going to eat all of them. Like I used to love, I probably still would love, I don't eat them so much, but those Reese Buttercups, if I bought a bunch of those to give out to kids, I would eat all of them. If they're sitting in the house 2 weeks before it's time to give them out to the other kids. So again, it's just important to understand, like, all these little tips are going to help, and they will help if you allow them. I think if we're looking for one big thing to change our lives, that this is going to be the cure for all these Halloween treats, and I'd imagine there's going to be some weight gain. There's definitely some unhealthy habits going on at this time. There's not one thing that's going to change anything, and that goes back to our entire philosophy at True Form. We believe that small, sustainable steps are going to be going to help you change your life, and they're going to be sustainable, lasting changes. So if we stop looking for that one diet or that one magic pill, I always say those pills, potions, powders, they don't work. They're not. If they worked, everyone would be doing it. If one thing worked, we would all be fit and healthy. There would be no medication, and the hospitals wouldn't be filled up. They don't work. So if we work towards small, sustainable changes, and what those changes are, then we can be healthier as a whole and really set a better example for our children. And I think that's what it's all about. I couldn't be more excited to share with you that True Form will be teaming up with the CLC Fitness Center. We'll be teaching a couple of classes there if you'd like to catch us in person. We have a Wednesday noon class for 30 minutes called Chiseled. Perfect for the busy professional that only has a short lunch break for a boost in the middle of the week or middle of the day. And then we have a Monday, Wednesday beginner boot camp class at 6 p.m. using functional movements to get you the results you're looking for. These are just a couple of the classes that the CLC Fitness Center offers to our local community. Spin is always popular, as is kickboxing. They also have HitFit, seniors classes, and more. If you're looking for a boost of energy this winter and a boost of motivation, the CLC Fitness Center offers all kinds of options from indoor walking tracks to personal training. Visit communitylearningcampus.ca for more details or call them at 403-507-7782. Now, my next tip here that I want to mention is the treats that you guys are putting together, that we're putting together for Halloween. And I think, again, I really enjoy Halloween, so there's so many different things that we can do. I think carving pumpkins is one of them, and that's a healthy activity that we can do together as a family to maybe make a new tradition if you're not already doing it, and letting the kids, I'm not exactly sure at what age they should be cutting or carving pumpkins, but I know they have different knives, like they have tiny knives or plastic types of knives or specific pumpkin carving knives. And of course, you can supervise them, or you can ask them, if they're super young, you can ask them what type of picture they want and carve it for them. But I think this is a really fun new tradition that I personally do every year, that we could get the kids involved and interested around Halloween as well. That doesn't have to be just focused on candy or unhealthy treats. So carving pumpkins is a big one for me that I really enjoy. What we do, and what I did growing up, is we separated that gooey inside of the pumpkin from the shells, or from the seeds, sorry. So we rinsed all that gooey stuff off, and we baked the pumpkin seeds. And it's awesome. It's so much fun. And so what you do is you can sprinkle some kind of, maybe Himalayan salt is a good one, or just make sure that everything's cleaned off. You can put some salt in there. Maybe you can put some pumpkin spice on there so it's more festive. And you put them in the oven, you bake them. Just make sure you don't put them in too long, because sometimes I burn mine. But that's something that's building the tradition. Those are healthy little seeds, and then you're not buying them from the grocery store or paying attention to what's going on in the ingredients. And that's another one as well, as we always have to read ingredients. I was at the store the other day. I really wasn't even thinking about it. I just saw pumpkin seeds, and it was for a good price. And I was like, oh, I need some pumpkin seeds. I just ran out. And I grabbed them, I threw it in the cart, and I got back. And I looked at the ingredients. There's like 5 or 6 different ingredients. And I was like, what is going on? So then you have to go through the whole process of like bringing it back and all that nonsense, because I wasn't going to eat it. So pay attention to the ingredients, especially at this time. But when you're baking your own pumpkin seeds, for example, you don't have to read the ingredients, because you know exactly what's in it. You know that you carved it out from a pumpkin, that you separated the gooey stuff and baked them yourself, and you even seasoned them yourself. So it's a really cool thing that you can do to help the kids understand about creating food themselves and about paying attention to ingredients. And again, creating that fun tradition around Halloween that doesn't have everything to do with just Halloween candy. I think that's super important. And put those pumpkin seeds in a little jar afterwards, and then you can snack on them throughout the season. So maybe after a couple weeks, you still have some pumpkin seeds, or maybe you can exchange some. This is going to be another tip of mine, but maybe you can exchange some candy for more pumpkin seeds. So again, they're not focused on just candy. So one of the biggest issues we have around Halloween candy is that it sticks around for at least weeks and possibly months afterwards. I know when I was a kid, I used to stash mine under my bed or hide in my closet around the house until the dog found a couple packages, and that ended that quickly. But again, when we go back to how we can live a healthy lifestyle, what are the things that we can do? And it's certainly not extending Halloween or treats or candy for as long as humanly possible. So I think you have 2 types of kids, or 2 types of people, though. One type that eats it all in one night, or in a very short time, and you have them that are those that kind of were more like me, and they slowly ate them for a long period of time until that they were all gone, and then by that time maybe it was Halloween again. But there's important things that we can do to make adjustments or transitions or help kids understand that this is what you get. Like, this is Halloween. It's over with. It's time to move on instead of letting them have these healthy snacks for so long afterwards. I want to take a moment to tell you about the old Uptown Market. Shirley's Greenhouse and the Black Forest German Bakery have teamed up right here in our local community to bring quality back to our food. Flavors and aromas that will bring you back to childhood. Fresh homemade baking, the kind that Grandma used to make, that fills your entire home full of goodness. Homegrown, fresh veggies that taste like you grew them yourself. Well, they're actually grown right here in our own backyard. Delicious peppers, tomatoes on the vine. You can literally taste the difference in the produce. You can also find Bauer Meats at the market for great barbecue ideas. The Old Uptown Market is located at 4806 50th Ave and is open Tuesday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or they can be reached at 403-556-7080. And don't forget to visit their Facebook page at Old's Uptown Market to see their daily updates. One of the things that we actually heard when we did our live Facebook kind of video, we asked everyone that was coming in if they had any suggestions or any tips. And one said, Dylan actually said, which switch? Now, I've never heard of this before, but I thought it was such a great idea. I had to share it with you. Now, what they do is they exchange money, just like the Tooth Fairy. Now, it doesn't have to be money. We had this conversation online. And one of the things was, so you get a bunch of candy. You ask your child to get a bunch of candy together. Maybe you put a little bag, and they leave it out that night. And then in the morning, much like the Tooth Fairy, it could be money left there. It could be toys left there. I'm going to go ahead and say you can leave a healthy snack there that's still acts like a reward and gives enough incentive to give up some candy. Of course, if you try to give like an apple and your kid is going to exchange his bunch of candy for an apple, then that which switch isn't going to work the next time. Your kid's going to be like, I'm not leaving my candy out for a banana. So it's going to have to offer some type of incentive to leave that out. But I think it's such a great idea. Kids get a chance to use their imagination. Of course, I think most of us know what it's like to leave a tooth on the window. We used to leave it on the windowsill, but I think you can also leave it under your pillow. I'm sure every family is different, but to wake up and it was like a bit magical and the kids use their imagination. They're like, oh my gosh. I used to get like 50 cents. I'm sure kids get like $20 these days for a tooth. I don't know. But we would get 50 cents or a loony or whatever, $1 for our tooth. And it was cool. It was a fun experience and something I'll always remember. And I think it's the same thing. It's the same difference here. You could have some fun, play around with it, and get your little witch switch in there. I have another friend that I wanted to mention, and she does something similar. And she gets all this candy. The kids get so much candy. Like they get what's the word I'm looking for? Pillowcases of bags of candy. So what are you going to do with all this? So I have a friend that lets their kids go through the candy and choose which ones they want. So they only get like a portion of what they bring in, and then they offer it to other areas. So they bring it to the library or they bring it to the grocery store, other communities, and leave it for other kids. And I think that's so cool. I know that could be challenging because you have to talk your child into offering this candy to other people or giving away your hard work, and you figure, I put in all this hard work to get this candy myself, why should I have to give it to someone else? But I think it offers good energy around giving and understanding that you give to receive. Not you give to receive, but if you give, you can receive. And I mean receive praise, or you can receive feeling better about yourself and helping other kids. But there's a lot of things that we can do. This is just one idea that I thought of. And those kids get a portion of what they bring in. So maybe they get 5 bags of chips and 25 chocolate bars and 10 suckers. But again, they get that portion instead of having all this candy to overindulge in over the weeks to come. The other thing was to pay attention to what's going in the school lunch boxes. And Dorothy and I just did a event around brain foods, and a lot of that had to do with sugar. And it's so difficult for the kids to concentrate while they're having this refined sugar throughout the day. Sometimes the kids actually bring it in the morning. So it's like, healthy snack time. And they bring out a bunch of like chocolate bars and candies. just pay attention. Just understand that that's not going to help them learn in the classroom. It's not going to help their brains. It's not going to help their minds to develop. So try not to send that to school with them. And if it's a must, if you're used to giving them a pile of candy during Halloween, then try to slowly reduce so they don't notice it. But again, I think that's important to understand and pay attention to, that if we're working towards a healthier lifestyle or teaching our kids from a young age, we have to pay attention to what we're putting in their lunches. And again, I said a healthier snack, but lunches has got to be the same thing, because the kids go through that afternoon crash as well, mostly because of what's going in their lunch. So pay attention to what you're putting in their lunch, especially when it comes to Halloween chocolates and candies and all that. You know what I'm talking about here. I want to take a moment to tell you about Pro Water Conditioning and Sundry. They are your local purified water specialists. They're committed to delivering you the most purified water around. Did you know there are 13 steps to their purification process? You can even go in for a guided tour to see exactly how their process works. I actually had the pleasure of visiting Pro Water and Sundry myself, and Mike personally showed me around, which was a pretty cool experience. I highly recommend it. Do you have any staining, hardness, iron, even smelly water issues? Pro Water offers a free water, quality, and system analysis. Pro Water delivers bottled water to both residential homes and businesses, and they cover all of Mountain View County and Clearwater County. For more details, visit prowatersundry.ca or call Mike at 403-994-0294. Another thing here that came up was the dentist. Dentists often do this. I know we do that in our local community. And when I was growing up, we had different options to do the same thing as well. And you can bring in your candy to exchange. So the dentist might have, I know it doesn't sound all that exciting, but the dentist might have a little care package. So it could be floss, a toothbrush, and something else, like a little tooth toy. And again, doesn't sound super exciting, but just look for other options or other areas. So it's an exchange. The kid brings in a bunch of candy, so their teeth aren't all rotten out, or they don't have a bunch of cavities. And the dentist exchanged some toys or some types of useful tools. Now, if you have any suggestions like this, let us know. I'd love to hear about it. Or you can write in, or I'm very accessible online through social media or through email or through our website. And I'd love to hear your ideas or what you're doing. If you are interested in partnering with something like this, I would love to do something. I haven't thought of anything personally, quite honestly. Personally, as a business, we're a health, fitness, nutrition business. We want to do something. I talk to so many parents that are like, I can't stand Halloween. There's candies everywhere. The kids have candies for weeks after. That's where a lot of these tips and suggestions have come from, because of conversations or those of you that write in and tell us about what your issues are. So we have content to talk about. But so many parents are just say it's so challenging because it's not, maybe it's not them, or maybe it's not your kids, but then their friends have a whole lunchbox full of candies and they're giving them out. Or if you don't give them enough candies in their lunchbox, then another kid's like, well, I got more candies than you. So it's a constant struggle, and I 100% understand that, and that there's a good chance that many of you listening are on the same track, or understand what I'm saying, and struggle with different things, not just too much Halloween candy, but it's their environment, and it's just like your environment, like your work environment. You struggle with candies all over the place. Well, so do your kids. Your kids struggle with this on a regular basis as well, because they want the candy. They don't understand what it's doing to them, or why they shouldn't have it. So those of us as adults, we have to explain, we have to set better examples, and we have to teach them some of the things that can help. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. As always, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for tuning in to see what we have going on, for your downloads, reviews, shares, everything that you do to contribute to the show. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. I want to wish you all a happy Halloween, a happy, safe, and maybe even healthy Halloween. Quick shout out to AG Foods in Didsbury, GDK Gravel and Sand. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Taddia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Taddia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Taddia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com. Exploring mind and body with True Form Life's Drew Taddia would not be possible without the help of GDK Gravel and Sand. GDK Gravel and Sand, now offering all products in half and 1 yard bags. Give them a call today for more information. 1-877-335-2091.